Hi everybody, this is a quick video tutorial on the basics of Hapara highlights and how to use that. To start, you are going to be going to the OSD portal. If you are not sure where to look for that, you go under OSD bookmarks and then you will see the portal right there. When you get to the portal, you are going to be looking in the bottom right hand corner under Applications. You're going to scroll down until you see Hapara Teacher Dashboard. Once you see that, you can click on it and it will take you out to Hapara. When you get to Hapara, you should see a screen that looks similar to mine. You will see boxes with each of your classes in them, and we are going to go into one of those classes. So you can go into your classes two different ways. You can click on that box for whichever class you would like to go into, or you can go to the drop-down menu in the top left-hand corner and select a class from there. When you are in your class, you are going to see a lot of different options at the top, and the first thing it takes you to is this dashboard. The dashboard has a lot of really cool features and allows you to share files with students and access students' files from their Google Drives, but we are going to focus on highlights in this video. So up in this menu in the top of your screen, you are going to look for highlights and you are going to go ahead and click on it. In highlights, again, you're going to see a lot of options at the top. We are going to talk about a few of these options, specifically browser tabs, current screens, pause screens, share links, and guide browsing. When you first get into highlights, you will see all of your students below. If they are in a gray box like mine are right now, it means those students are not logged in on their Chromebooks. If they are logged in on their Chromebooks, they will look like this below. This first area we are in, which is browser tabs, allows you to see the browser tabs your students currently have open and allows you to see which browser tabs they are currently on. So if I look at my test student down here, I will see that they have Schoology open and they have 3 different illustrative mathematics tabs open as well. The one that is in bold is the one that they are currently on. Now, if that student were to open a new tab and go off task, that would pop up in my test student here, again as bold. The X's next to each of these tabs are the ability for you to close those tabs. So let's say I see my student open a Google search for funny memes, and I do not want them on that tab. I would just click the X next to it and it would close that tab for them and take them back to where they should be. The next area we are going to look at is current screens. So up in this menu at the top, if you click over to current screens, that will give you a snapshot of what is currently showing on that student's screen. So for my test student down here, if I click on that, that is going to bring up a larger picture of what is happening right now on their screens. I can just look at that, but I can also save that snapshot for later. The next piece we are going to look at is this pause screens toggle. This is a new feature in Hapara that allows you to completely pause your students' computers. If you turn this on, it will allow you to pause those students' computers for a maximum of 15 minutes, and that does not allow the students to do anything on their computer. What will be showing on their computer while you have it paused is a screen that looks like this. This would be a great option to give direct instruction where you do not want the students to be distracted at all by their Chromebooks. When you are done with that and you are ready for them to return to using their Chromebooks, you can toggle that back to off and it will allow them to go back to using their Chromebooks. The next area we are going to look at is share links up in the top right-hand corner. This feature allows you to open links on students' computers, and you can open up to 10 links at a time. To use this feature, when you click on it, you have some options here. In this box, it says enter up to 10 links. So I'm going to go over, I have Algebra 1, Unit 1, Lesson 1 of Illustrative Maths student lessons open, and I want to send this to my students. So I am going to copy this URL, and then I'm going to go back over to my Hapara, and I'm going to paste that URL into this box. Then I can choose whether I would like the whole class to have this link opened for them, specific students to have this link open for them, or specific groups. Now with groups, you need to go in and set that up manually, so you might want to just stick to either the whole class or individual students. If you pick individual students, you'll be able to select the students you want that to open for. The other option you have here is to schedule this session for later. If you click yes, you can choose a day and a time, and on that day, at that time, it will open those links for students' computers. Once you have your link in there and you have your options selected, you are going to share the links, and that link will open on all of your students' computers. Another option you can have if you want to open up links on your students' computers and make them stay on those links is guide browsing. When you click on guide browsing, you have two options. Option 1 here is set up a focus session. That is going to keep students on specific links that you select. Option 2 is a filter session, which is going to prevent students from going to specific links that you select. I'm going to choose set up a focus session because I want students to stay on a website that I designate. Again, you're going to see the link box, so you are going to put that link. I'm going to use the same link I just used to go to that algebra lesson on illustrative mathematics. You have an option to choose whether the students go to the whole site or only to the pages. I'm going to click only to the pages because I want to keep them on this lesson. You can then set your time frame. This is the time it will keep your students on that focused browsing. However, when you're in your focused browsing, you can stop it at any time. So I'm going to keep it at 15 minutes. You then have some options for what happens at the end of your session. The first one is to keep all tabs introduced in this session open. If you want the students to continue to access that website that you are sending them to, you will want to leave this on a yes. If you want it to close when you're done, you will want to change this to no. And then your second option is to restore students' original tabs. And so what that means is when you stop this session, it will bring back the tabs that the students already had open. I typically would leave this on yes because sometimes they have tabs open for other classes that they still need to access. Again, you can choose who you want this session to be for. You can push it out to the entire class, or you can choose specific students to focus browsing for. And then again, you can schedule this for later if you would like. If this is going to be a session you often do, you can save it as a template and then continue using that time after time. When you're done, you are going to start your session, which will again open those tabs for students, but it will not let them open other tabs and go to other websites. If the students try to go to other tabs and other websites, what they will see come up on their screen is this message. Hapara will ask them if they are in the right place for learning. It will give them a minute on this tab, and then it will close them and send them back to the tab that you want them to be on. If you finish that guided browsing session before the time limit you have set for it, up at the top of the screen, you have the option to release all students. If you have set this for 15 minutes and you are done in 10 and you are ready for the students to go back to using their computers, you can release all students and it will give them control of their computers again. So these are the basics of Hapara highlights that you might be interested in using. We will have additional Hapara trainings if you are interested in them. You can check PD Enroller, or you can contact Sharon Merrigan or Jamie Sproul, your secondary tech TOSAs. Thank you. Bye.